1.
Hello, Algebra students. Welcome to the first round of e-learning. We are doing this the week of iStep, so it's a little practice e-learning run for you. I know that some of you are doing Khan Academy, trying to catch up on that, and some other classes may have assigned that. This is the e-learning that you can download from Canvas. So I'm just going to do a couple problems here to give you some help. You can finish the rest, but once you notice the directions here, you're going to need to do these on your own paper, and you're going to turn this in a week after it's assigned, so depending on your class period. But the directions here say solve each system, and so it really doesn't give you a method that you have to do. So even though like there are graphs here, you don't have to graph this. When I look for this, I look for stuff, if it's solved for y and I have a graph, I think I can graph it. So I rewrite this equation with a fraction, and then I'm going to go ahead and graph. So I have 3 as my y-intercept, down 1 to the right 1. And I just like to make a few points, and then I'll connect them later. And this one is already a nice slope-intercept form. Start at -4. Slope is 3/4. And so I make a quick sketch, and the reason I made more points is now I can see that my solution is right there. So 4x is 4, y is -1. If it hits nicely on a graph, that's usually one of the easiest ways. The other way you could do this problem is they're both equal to y, so you could set them equal to each other. You could take this y out and put this y in, so you end up with -x plus 3 over here and 3/4 x minus 4 over here, and then solve. That also would get you the answer. Okay, going to this next one. Again, if you're going to solve this by graphing, because you see that graph here, you might have a little bit of more extra work to do. I would probably do this by elimination. I'll do both methods so you can see it, but whenever I see the variables stacked up like this, I always think elimination. So I'm going to try to eliminate x. I wish this was a -7. So I'm going to turn this into a -7. I'm just going to rewrite the first equation. And I'm going to turn this into a -7 by multiplying the whole thing by -1. So I multiply by -1. Sorry about that scattering. Jumping a little bit. I get -7x plus 3y equals 6. So I go to add those two. -7 plus 7. Oh, wait a minute. I get 0 here. And I get 18 over here. Well, last time I checked, 0 does not equal 18. So that means no solution. Which, in the case of lines, that means they don't intersect. So we're talking about lines that are parallel. So I'm just going to double check here. If I were to do this one by graphing, I need to solve this for y. And divide everything by -3. So I'd have 7/3 x plus -4 or -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I got a quick sketch. Should use your straight edge or you get a crooked line. And I do the same thing with this line. 7x minus 3y equals -6. It's kind of starting to look familiar. Divide everything by -3. And you realize you get the same slope, different y-intercept. Same slope means the lines are parallel. So I can't go up 7, so I'm going to go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. So my two lines are parallel, no solution. Okay, the third one on here, and this kind of gives you all the variety. The third one on here is kind of a mixed bag. You have some x's on one side and y's on the other. Whenever there is a variable that is by itself, substitution is a decent way to go about doing this. So I have x by itself. I'm going to just write down here. I can take and put anywhere else there's an x. I can put in a parenthesis and replace it with my x, so 2y plus 6. Okay, so and actually this question says solve number 3 using substitution. I would say if it just says solve in the directions, you could solve it that way from the start. So now it just turns into kind of a pre-algebra or early review type of question where I have variables on both sides. I'm going to move the variables together. Notice I'm not skipping steps because I don't want to forget something that's important here. I like things to line up. You can skip a step when you get to here and divide. So y equals -4. Looking at my solutions, I know that's either going to be B or D. Take that -4, plug it back in here for x. So x equals 2 times -4 plus 6, -8 plus 6, -2. So if I were to graph this right from the start, I need to solve both of those for y. Let's just do that to verify our answer, and that'll give you kind of a review of the whole thing. So x equals 2y plus 6. If I want to get y by itself, I'm going to subtract 6. I'm not scared. I have my y on the right. Divide everything by 2. I am scared of not having my slope written as a fraction, so 1/2 x minus 3. So let's graph that. There's start at -3, slope up 1 to the right 2, make a few of them. And hopefully -2, -4 is one of my points. Yeah, it is. We'll see what the other line ends up being. So then my other line, -2y plus 6 equals -7x. Subtract 6. Divide by -2. If I'm going too fast, pause it. Do some work. I have a limited time on my free account. Okay, 7/2 x plus 3. So I start at 3. And I can't go up 7 over to the right 3, so I can go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. I might have counted off too many. Sorry, it's 7 halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Good. So I kind of knew where I was going. So there's my solution 2 different ways. You can always choose. So when you get down to here, it tells you which method. So we want to make sure that you know how to do the different methods. So this is elimination. You see how nice they line up. And then these are just good old-fashioned one variable equations that we can't forget about. So distribute, and I'm just going to write this right here. My people know what this is. CLT, combine like terms. That is the biggest issue. Okay, so make sure you combine like terms before you try to solve. Right here, you're going to combine those before you go trying to solve and get all crazy. Okay, good luck on the e-learning assignment. It's due a week after it is assigned for your class period.